The study and practice of statistics is largely about acquiring representative sample or experimental data to allow us to get an accurate assessment of important unknown population parameters. If we take a bad sample that would tend to cause an important population proportion to be underestimated, then our statistic, our sample proportion, is biased. To avoid acquiring biased statistics, we need to take the most representative random samples possible. To accomplish this, we must recognize potential biases in our sample approaches. There is response bias. If you ask a person what their income is, they may embellish it. They may not, but you don't know. But typically, if someone's making maybe $66,000 a year, they might say, I'll make about $70,000 a year or $6,000 a month. What makes things challenging is we need to acquire information about someone's income without asking them. Hence, we start to recognize the challenge of getting a good representative random sample, which leads us to another idea. We are better off to take a smaller, truly random sample where we were able to get around different biases and get the information that we need than to take a larger, potentially biased sample that may give us more confidence in the fact that it's a large sample, but may actually be so biased that the results are not even worth reporting. Voluntary response is, as we mentioned before, if you ask people to text or Twitter or go to a web address and respond to a certain question, all too often the people that take the time to do such a thing are those that are highly opinionated, that have strong feelings one way or another. So you often get tremendous undercoverage in this result because you're not hearing from the people who do not share the most intense feelings. And undercoverage is a form of bias, but it's more of a description of what can happen in regards to all the other biases that can occur. Non-response is when people choose, for whatever reason, not to respond to a survey. Either they don't have the time, or they don't want to take the time, or they don't care enough. Again, this leads to undercoverage of people with certain tendencies and traits, and we need to hear from everyone. So voluntary response and non-response can really lead to tremendous undercoverage. The wording of a question can lead people or sway people in a certain way that they might not even be aware of. And the wording of a question may evoke emotions that could tend to make us respond a little bit more or less favorably. For example, knowing that more than 10,000 people are murdered each year in America, are you in favor of gun control? Bottom line, we need to be aware of the potential problems in our sample results that are a result of the way in which we gather the information.